are playing here in Sacramento. And I'm just going to call him the best closer in baseball because
let's do it.
And he is joining us today. You just heard his theme song. It's Mason Miller. Mason, it's Dave, it's Jason. Really appreciate you joining us on the morning of a game day. How are you?
Doing well, fellas. How about you?
Well, we're doing good.
Yeah.
We're excited to talk to you. And I know you've done hundreds of interviews and, hey, that fastball is amazing. And it is. And, what does it feel like to get a save? We're going to ask you stuff like that. But we always try to do a little research. And is it true you're an Eagle Scout?
Yes, it is true. I earned my Eagle Scout honor. And let's see, it's been a while now. Graduated high school in 2016, so probably winter, end of 2015, 2016.
Now, for people that don't know, like becoming an Eagle Scout, that's not like you went out and, did a thing. Like that is a freaking road.
Yeah,
you have to do like projects for the community and memorize, all this stuff, the motto and the all of that. Two questions here. Have you retained a lot of that knowledge? Like if we were all trapped in the woods, or are you the guy tying the knot? Right. And then secondly, I mean, this is a weird one, but like, does your Eagle Scoutiness, I don't know what the term is, does that help you mentally or at all in baseball?
I think that it is a long road, like you said, and you learn a lot along the way. I wasn't necessarily the biggest outdoorsman. I think I have more knowledge than the average guy, but I wasn't as into it as, some of the other guys were. But, it's a time in life that you learn a lot about yourself, kind of regardless of, what you're involved in. Usually your activities and your passions and all that stuff shape you. I think the biggest thing I gleaned from it was just my care for service and, wanting to be involved in the community and platform that I'm on now, I'm able to do that, especially with kids with type 1 diabetes. So I would say that my aptitude to serve and, care for people that I'm able to reach, I think a lot of that can be attributed to my time in Scouts.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. So
by the way, I was a wee below, Jason. So I don't know if you.
I don't think that compares.
I was a wee below.
You're way below. Not wee below. Way below.
That's how far I made it. Mason made it a little bit further.
Yeah. Mason, I was thinking about last night. When a walk-off happens, we see the natural part of everybody running out celebrating Jacob Wilson game-winning hit. You were preparing to warm up. How do you run from the bullpen? Like where do you celebrate in that mix?
We celebrate as a bullpen. I kind of want to run onto the field. I think that's the biggest thing I miss about being in the dugout and starting is being able to celebrate when the guys have a huge moment like that. But we can't wait to get to the clubhouse and we get some in there. So it's cool. We're almost on an island down there watching, but we're rooting for the guys just as hard as the guys in the dugout.
I know you've been asked a version of this a bunch, and we're in Sacramento. You're also not going to offend us. We get it. You're not playing in the classic major league ballpark, but is there something that stands out to you as the biggest difference for you when it comes to facilities or things you can or can't do that you can in other parks?
It's an adjustment for sure. Wherever we went, it was going to feel like an adjustment for different reasons. You have call a place home for me, it was 2 years, but you get used to it. You have a routine place that, you're used to living, the drive in, the facilities and all that. And they've done a good job preparing this place for us, but it is a big change. And I would say the most notable one's probably just locker room location, it being in left field as opposed to connected to the dugout. I think that's just the most noticeable change. But as far as the facilities go, they've taken care of us for sure.
Well, you've been in Northern California for a little while, but how about Sacramento? How are you adjusting to being in this city so far?
Yeah, I mean, the first month of the year really just feels like it flies by. You know, you go from spring training, you're parked in one spot for 6 weeks down there in Phoenix, and get out. And we start on the road for 4 games, come home for 3 games, back on the road. So it's really felt like a blur, but I think it's starting to feel like home. Getting settled and everything, getting used to the city, getting out and trying some new restaurants, things like that. So we're enjoying ourselves. Miss having a 10-game homestand, that's for sure. We'll be 7 games, I think, is the longest homestand, which usually ends up feeling like 6 days since we leave. We leave after the game, the final day, but we're trying to make the most of it for sure.
Mason, I was at the game the other night against Texas, and you guys have a 3-run lead. Everybody that's still there is waiting for you to enter, and the song starts, the lights go out, the flames are on the scoreboard. I mean, as a fan watching that, it's awesome, but it's not for me. It's for you. Like, what is that feeling like, leaving the bullpen, taking the mound with just that kind of entrance, your song and the lights and just the whole display they do for you?
Yeah, that honestly was the first full-blown time doing it with the lights and everything.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty awesome. I won't lie to you. I love getting in the game regardless. Even if it's on the road and I'm running in, the fans are, cheering for their guys. It's just that big moment that gets you excited, and to be able to do it, and get a little show when you come in, I think that juices you up a little bit more for sure. But just getting out to the mound and trying to get those last 3 outs that's my job, and that's really what I look forward to doing every time I get the opportunity.
I want to drill deeper on that because I was already a fan of yours, but knowing that you got a Nickelback song because here's the thing: Nickelback, Creed, Coldplay, like the holy triad of bands that are like incredibly successful, but nobody wants to admit they like. I like all 3 of them. So how did it go about getting the song? And then did you ever even care that it was Nickelback? Are you a Nickelback guy? Is it just the song? I mean, give us a little more on that.
Yeah. I'm not like a guy that bangs to all 3 necessarily, but we listened to some Creed in the locker room. We had a guy last year that was a big Creed guy, so we'd have it on. It's good pump up music, I think, and regardless of how people feel about it. I think to your point about a couple of days ago when I came into the game, the fans are excited. I think that's all a walkout song is really going to come down to is, does it get everybody pumped up and excited and jumping around or loud, or does it just kind of pass you by? So when I started, I had a slower paced song. I went to the bullpen and I knew I needed to add a little bit of speed and pump up to the music. So the song came from one of my buddies, a college catcher actually. But yeah, I like it. It's grown on me. I've never been a Nickelback hater or anything like that. I've never been, a guy that's ready to go to war with somebody over whether it's good or bad,
I'll get you a mixtape. Don't worry. You came on the show. We should do something nice for you.
That's right.
Get you a Nickelback mixtape. It's a good band.
What Mason has been your career highlights so far? You got a long way to go, but All-Star game last year, like what have been some of your career highlights so far?
Yeah, certainly the All-Star game last year, really, really surreal experience being on the field with so many of the game's stars, plenty of which I grew up. I say grow up, but in high school, college was fans of, and got the opportunity to share a field with a similar honor to them. But obviously, the debut as well is a big one in a player's journey. You spend your time, whether it be in the minor leagues or college or just, at some point in your journey, unless you're a can't miss prospect, you have had some doubts or you have some people that, you tell them you're a minor league baseball player and you're working to be in the big leagues. And they say, yeah, okay, whatever you say. So to have that dream realized and to have that moment with your family, have them at the game, get the chance to perform on the biggest stage. I think that's a hard feeling to top on an individual level. And I think now that that's shifted just to kind of team aspirations and team goals. Now that I've been doing it for a couple years, I think the group that we get to come to the field and work with every day that has been put together for us is really starting to come into its own, and that's exciting for us. So I'm hoping that we're able to have some team highlights that I can put into that memory bank of super memorable baseball experiences.
Well, Mason, last one for me, and we appreciate you joining us. Mark Kotze ultimately has the belief in you to call on you to close out a game. I'm going to try to put my faith in you as well. We do a game on the show where we pick a player a day. If they get a hit, we have a hitting streak and we continue. Well, my streak got broken yesterday, and I said, I'm picking an A today. I'm just going to, but I'm going to ask Mason Miller. So from your lineup today, who do you feel best about? Who's going to get me a hit? And I'm going to go with whoever you say, and that's who I'm going to pick today. There you go.
Just for my understanding, it's Sacramento sports show, but we don't usually pick the A's players to get hits.
Oh, no, we do. I have.
We can pick anyone.
I took Kurtz the other day in his debut. He got a hit in the first inning.
Yep.
So, yesterday, I'll say it. Gunnar Henderson ruined it for me from the Orioles. So I'm done with him.
Ruined it. We should stay with our guys. I think the safest bet's Jacob Wilson.
Boom.
Yeah, that's
Jacob Wilson, friend of the show.
Yeah, we had him last week. Walk off yesterday. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll go with it.
Yeah, big time.
Well, brother,
you can't argue with the average. He got his first walk out of the way.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. He didn't have a 3-ball count.
The guy's going to be putting the ball in play, so you got to fight and champ.
There we go.
Oh, well, nobody puts the ball in play against you, dude. You're tearing it up. Keep doing it. Welcome to the city.
Yes.
We, do our best to make you feel at home. You ever need any restaurant recommendations, we're always here for you, and hopefully we talk to you later in the season, brother. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
That's Mason Miller.
Yes.
Good stuff. Eagle Scout, Mason.
Yeah. Jacob Wilson. I feel good about that.
I honestly feel
thank
good
you,
about
Mason.
that. What you guys over for?
Why don't you pick an A? I do. I have.
Did I tell you I like that?
That was a correct response.
Sacramento radio show, and you're not just picking A's.
Yeah.
Look,
he's not wrong.
I stopped myself from saying I actually pick against the A's, sir.
Thank you, Chris. We'll take a break. Friday Fun and Games Celebrity Birthdays next.
You never know